If you're receiving this transmission, you are the resistance, declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com. And welcome to the Dan Bidondi Show on TruthRadioShow.com. And we got a special little report for you today, little something extra spiritual warfare. So if you want to follow spiritual warfare shows, go to TruthRadioShow.com. But I want to report on this today, which we're going to do an entire show on this, me and Brian. This is very strange. And I just want to give a quick report on this. People finding staircases, literally staircases in the middle of the woods. There's tons of reports about this. Mysterious staircases appear in the woods. Why abandoned staircases keep appearing in the woods randomly. People going missing. You know, they go on hikes and, you know, go through the woods, whatever the case, and they find these staircases. And people allegedly go on these staircases, end up going missing, or they just keep walking and they keep going. All kinds of weird things going on. Now, I'm not saying every one of these cases are real, all right, because we know, remember the monoliths that started appearing out of nowhere? Then people started putting them there purposely, like UFO cases, right? There was UFO sightings in the 60s. Then all of a sudden people wanted the 15 minutes of fame, so they started hoaxing these things. That could very well be the case, and most of these staircases, too, are probably like something like this. Here, I'll show you one. That could be an old foundation or staircase to something that was once there, or they just put it there for whatever the case, whatever purpose. But, however, staircases appearing out of nowhere, and sometimes something like this. That's normally not there, and there's been so many reports have been. I just actually discovered this a couple of days ago. Actually, it was my brother, Jason. He's like, oh, did you hear about the staircases appearing in the middle of the woods? I'm like, no. And so, yeah, and, you know, people, like, places where people go hiking and all that, they've never seen them before, and then all of a sudden they're appeared in there. And people allegedly go missing on these things. All kinds of crazy stuff, man. And we're going to dive a little bit into this. And again, me and Brian's going to do an entire show on this because I really think it has a lot to do with the occult and portals. So some of these staircases could literally appear and go into a portal. Now, I know it sounds like ridiculous to a lot of people, but you hear me out, right? So, again, there's tons of videos on this stuff. Staircases in the woods and national parks, real hoax. Now, again, a lot of these could be hoax, or people just build them for the fun of it. Or a lot of these things could be real. So I'm not dismissing this by all means. Like I said, this is very strange stuff. You know, of course, because the houses here, but very strange occurrences that happen in the middle of the woods. So I stumbled upon things, right? So the first thing that came to my mind, people appearing, they seeing beings, you know, that's at the top waiting for them, playing a flute, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? The very first thing that came to my mind, and most of your mind too, is the Stairway to Heaven, right? We heard this in the Bible with Jacob's ladder, which is, there's actually a ladder, not stairway. We're going to get to that in a minute. But there's occultic reasons why they call it a stairway, right? And also that famous song from 1971, this was Led Zeppelin. This song, Stairway to Heaven, it's the longest reigning #1 hit song. And, you know, no other songs even touched us. Because this song is full of occultism. And because of copyright issues here, we cannot play this song. However, we got the lyrics here. So let's read these lyrics. And if you haven't heard the song, guys, pause this for a minute. Go listen to the song on YouTube, right? Or Venmo, whatever the case. Go listen to the song. And come back here. Or we just wait till the show's over. This presentation, then you know what I'm talking about. But we can read the lyrics here. Now, in the lyrics, right, Led Zeppelin's singing about a stairway to heaven. But there's very occultic language in these lyrics, right? So there's a lady who's sure all that the glitter is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven, and when she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed. So with the word, she can get what she came for. Sounds like some kind of a magic ritual spell, right? And it goes on, she's buying a stairway to heaven, and there's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure. what sign do they talk about? Right? And because sometimes we have words have two meanings, right? Sometimes words have two meanings. That sounds a little symbolic to me. As we know, when we study the occult here, we study symbology, and we discuss this all the time, right? Symbols have multiple meanings. There's exoteric and esoteric meanings for symbols. Exoteric is probably hundreds, if not thousands, of meanings for that one symbol, or multiple meanings for that one symbol, but they're all false. The esoteric is the true meaning, which could be 1, 2, maybe 3 meanings, but that's what the symbol stands for. It reveals to those who can see it, and it conceals to those who can't. The secret societies, especially Freemasonry, derive off this. But anyway, she says, the song says, sometimes two words have meanings, right? Now, catch this, right? They're talking about a stairway to heaven, right? They talk about being in the woods. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings sometimes over the door to a misgiving. Makes me wonder, it says, right? And there's a feeling I get when I look to the west. Now, I want to point this out, right? In the occultic world, okay, that is very significant when you look to the west and the east. I want to point that out. When, especially with graves, like what they did is they buried, like Native Americans, right? They would have a piece of quartz crystal that would face the west, because that's where the sun set. And the east is where the sun rises, right? There's very occultic. It's too much to explain right now. So this is full of occultism, and this all has to do with the stairway in the woods, right? And my spirit is crying for leaving. Leaving where? In my thoughts, I have seen rings of smoke through the trees. That sounds like a portal. My spirit is crying for leaving, right? In my thoughts, I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking. Now, the funny thing is, right, if you read the reports of these stairways in the woods, right, people are saying this stuff. They're hearing voices and people standing there looking at them. So when they go up these stairways, is there a ring of smoke? This looks like, it sounds like a portal to me. I could be wrong. But with my knowledge and the esoteric knowledge and all that, yes, this is very well possible. And this is biblical too. We're going to get to what the Bible has to say about this. And if you don't have any knowledge of the occult, I never at all recommend anybody to even touch it. Stay the heck away from the occult. But if you have a strong foundation in God, in the Bible, right, strong anchor, then on an educational level, yes, go look into this thing, because we're supposed to expose the deeds of evil. But if you haven't, stay away from it, please. This is extreme occultism. And you have to have some kind of spiritual warfare knowledge to understand what we're talking about. Most people are like, oh, you just read the lyrics, Led Zeppelin song. Don't understand. You know how many people repeat songs? Like Katy Perry, right? Her song E.T. Extraterrestrial. People sing that song all the time, right? It's a good rhythm to it, but do you know what you're singing? It's about alien demonic abduction and all that. Yeah, so this is extreme occultism right here. So again, it makes me wonder, and it's whispered that soon, if we all call to tune, then the piper will lead us to reason. Hold on, the piper? Do you know who the piper is? You hear the tune? I'm going to show you who the piper is. A piper is a person who plays a pipe, especially illiterate music, right? A bagpiper or whatever the case, right? That's Pan, the horn god of nature. Which is nothing good about this at all. Pan is nothing good at all. Now, the pagans worship Pan. They think it's the horn god of pagan. This is Satan, guys. This is a lower form of Satan. It's the same thing as a Baphomet. And if you don't know what a Baphomet is, I'm going to show you right now. That's what a Baphomet is. They're always associated with some kind of horned creature. Now, the Baphomet is, in the satanic world, it is the dark side. Okay? Pan on the witchcraft side, right? If you pagan witchcraft, they believe Pan represents white magic. It's they call it right-handed magic, right? And Baphomet, or the goat of Mendez, they call it, right, represents dark magic, left-handed magic, right? The Eastern and Western Star. Big difference, right? The Eastern Star is the pentagram pointing up, right? And the Western Star is a one pointing out, it's satanic, right? That's why it's mentioned in the West here, too. To look to the West. So right there, when I look to, there's a feeling I get when I look to the West. My spirit is crying for leaving. And again, the rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices are those who stand looking. Who's looking? Makes you wonder, huh? Yeah? Makes you wonder? And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason. That piper is Satan, guys. Which the pagans believe is Pan, the horn guy. That's the piper. Now, again, this has a lot to do with the stairway because it's very significant. People experiencing stuff, right? They're experiencing these kind of experiences. And a new dawn for those who stand along, and the forest will echo with laughter. Why is there stairways in the forest? You can't make this stuff up, guys. I can't wait to do a show on this, I tell you. And whoa, 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 and there's a bustle in your hedgerow. Don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. Actually, I'm going to see who the May Queen is. There's May Queen. The May Queen is a girl who rides or walks at the front of the parade, the celebration. All right, so something to a parade. So basically, she's leading. So May Queen is somebody who leads, like in a parade or whatever the case, the marshal parade, or just a leader in general. So May Queen could be some kind of pagan, like which would be considered like a Lilith. And yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Two paths, huh? Let's see what that path says. In Freemasonry and occult, guys, there's two paths. In witchcraft, there's two paths. There's a right-handed path and there's a left-handed path. In witchcraft, in the occult, and secret societies, guys, there's a right-handed path and a left-handed path. They call it so-called white magic. There's no such thing. But so-called white magic is called right-handed magic. Left-handed magic is called dark magic. Now, when you go to Freemasonry, right, I forgot the exact degree, when you come to the Shriner's Path, they call it, right, you take your choice, go to the right or the left. Now, the first 3 degrees of Freemasonry is called the Blue Lodge, right? When you go into the Red Lodge, that's the 4th degree. Now, you choose where you go. The York Rite is the left path. The Scottish Rite is the right path. York Rite is complete occultism altogether. Right path is occultism hidden. It makes it a little biblical when it's not, but they lead to the same place. So it's not a significance, okay, when they talk about the path you choose. Very significant to the stuff here, guys. Now, yeah, it makes you wonder, it says, right? Your head is humming and it won't go. In the case you don't know, the pipe is calling you to join him. Yeah. Satan is calling to join you, for you to join him. Now, there could be a big reason why people are literally disappearing on these staircases, the real ones, yeah? Maybe a lot of these people who are conducting some kind of a ceremonial magic or whatever the case, that would open portals up. Or there was a portal open that nobody closed during one of these rituals. And here's the thing, too. You guys are going to laugh, but, you know, the Bigfoot thing going on? You ever wonder why you never find a Bigfoot dead or anything? Because they come out of portals. They come into the woods for whatever reason. I believe they come out to feed or whatever the case. But they're interdimensional. They're Nephilim. And if you know anything about the Bible and spiritual warfare, you know what I'm talking about. Are they coming from these stairways? Could all this be all connected? You know, we're asking questions. We're going to do a show on it. I can't wait, man. I really can't. But dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? And did you know the stairway lies on the whispering wind? And as we wind down the road, our shadows are taller than our soul. There walks a lady we all know. So basically, if you're going down the road, right, and your shadows are taller than your soul, right, basically, so it sounds like the face facing the east, which is a very occultic significance. I don't know. I'm going to really examine this when we do the Spiritual Warfare Friday show. This is amazing stuff. And there walks a lady we all know who shines white light and wants to show. Who's this lady? And I really believe that talking about Lilith here. How everything still turns to gold, and if you listen very hard, the tune will come to you at last when all are one and one is all. Yea, to be rock and not to roll. And she's buying a stairway to heaven. So is this a ritual here? That Lilith using these stairways and Pan the horn god? And let me show you who Lilith is. Well, it's no really. Lilith is a demonic god. Okay, well, not a god. She's a Nephilim, basically. A female deity. That the Mesopotamians worshipped and everything else, right? And Judaism and all that. They say it's mythology, there's nothing mythology about it. The Lilith spirit, she's responsible for crib death. She tortures men in their sleep. Now, these people believe that she was the first wife of Adam, and she didn't want to succumb to Adam's authority. She wanted to be in control, and they kicked her out. She was banished from the Garden of Eden. That's not true. Not even close. Again, everything in the cult, like I mention all the time, is a perverted, twisted image and whatever the case, version of what God talks about. His word, the word of God, whatever. And no, she was not the wife of Adam at all. She is the demonic spirit, the unclean spirit, and yes, she tortures men in her sleep. She's like a succubus. Has sex with people in the dream, or in their sleep, I'm sorry. And she's said to be responsible for crib death. So, yeah, there's so much stuff about Lilith, and I really believe that's who they're talking about. Now, could this Lilith spirit, which is very evil, guys, could she be traveling into these portals? And there's so many questions on this. So many questions, and the Stairway to Heaven, the first thing that pops into my head. Now, here's the thing, too, right? We're going to have an awesome show. I can't wait. Oh, man. So, if you go to Genesis 28, right, we talks about Jacob's, right, ladder. I want to show you some significance. Now, if those who follow us on the Spiritual Warfare Friday and the TruthRadioShow.com and all that, the Dan Bidondi Show, we talk about this all the time, Bible translations. Now, pay attention here, right? And I say this all the time. The newer Bibles, anything newer than the King James Version, we always condemn, and for very good reasons. Because, especially the NIV, they take out thousands of words, change key important words in text purposely. And I believe a lot of these things were changed for occultic reasons. Now, I want to point this out, right? You know how we dream. So basically, and I'm going to point this out, right? This is a King James Version, right? So, I guess when Jacob was tired, right? It says here, because the sun was to set. Check this out, right? When the sun was to set, right? With the sets in rise in the east and set in the west, right? Facing the west, right? Well, another song, Stairway to Heaven, talks about facing the west. Not a coincidence, right? So anyway, he took stones of that place to make a pillow. So he took stones referring to what? More than one, right? It's stone would be singular. Stones refers to what? Two or more stones. Could be 3, 4, who knows? There's more than one, right? Pay attention to this, right? He took stones to make a pillow to sleep on, right? Now, keep that in mind. he dreamed to behold a ladder that was set up on earth, and the top of it reached into heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it, going up and down the ladder. Now, pay attention to this, right? Remember the stone? Now, let's do this, right? Let's go to the Jubilee Bible for a minute, right? And he took stones of that place, right? He took stones to make a pillow, sleep, right? And oh yeah, ladder was set up. So these are the older Bibles, right? Jubilee. Let's try the Wycliffe here, if we can find it. Okay, so we're going to prove a point here, right? Wycliffe Bible. John Wycliffe. He was a Protestant that rebelled against the Catholic Church, former Catholic priest, right? Anyway, his Bible here. He said the stone's going to, and he took some of the stones, referring to more than one, right, to make a pillow, right? And he saw a ladder standing up in heaven, going to heaven, right? So we have 3 old Bibles that say it's a ladder and stones to make a pillow. And he had a dream of a ladder and angels going up and down it, right? And now, check this out. Now this is going to all come to play, right? Now, let's go to this disgusting Bible called the New Age, the New Age, right? New World Order Bible, I call it. Where is it here? Let's start with the amplified. We'll do some of the popular ones. All right, Amplified Bible, it's a newer Bible, right? Now, right? Now, check this out, right? He said, and you're going to find this in every Bible after King James. All the newer Bibles say this. He went from stones to a stone. He took one of the stones. See the change in that? And I'm going to tell you the significance of this in a minute, guys. He took one of the stones. The King James and older says he took stones, not one. Right? It doesn't stop there, right? And he dreamed there was a ladder, and of course they got to put stairway placed on the earth. Notice how the stairway started coming into this? There's a big difference between a ladder and a stairway. Right? Now, let's go to the NIV. All right, where is it? I hate the NIV Bible. So, all right, do it tonight, right there. All right, there we go. Ready? Look, he took one of the stones to put under his head to lay down to sleep, right? For a pillow, right? He had a dream and saw a stairway. Oh, look at this. Ladder became a stairway for some reason, right? That one stone became more than one stone. I mean, the stones became all of a sudden one stone. See the change here? Now people say, what's the big deal? I'm going to explain this. Now I'm going to point this out again, okay? Let's go to another translation, the newer ones, right? The New Life Translation, or, whatever the case, right? It's all the new Bibles. So, and he had gone down and took one of the stones. Again, one stone. The older Bibles say stones. Right? And he had a dream, stepping down on earth, and the angels go up and down these steps, referring to a stairway. Why did they change? Why did they do that? We go to another one here. So let's go to some of the popular new ones here. The Darby translation. I think this is where this really started polluting the Bible. So, and now, but he does say he took one of the stones. So, okay, that's okay, right? So, and he dreamed and there was a ladder. Okay, so John Darby's Bible actually matches here the King James and the older ones. So, all right, and I'm just make a point here. So let me see. Just getting the newer Bibles. All these newer Bibles. You get the New Living Translation. This is a popular newer one, right? So, the riders set up camp in that night and found one stone to rest on, right? Again, it went from more than one, a bunch of stones to make pillow to all of a sudden one stone to make a pillow, right? Then he slept and dreamed of a stairway. What happened to the ladder? A stairway. And if you're not catching on to this already, guys, in the occult world, they take everything of God. Everything is biblical, guys. And they twist it in the mirror image version. And when Led Zeppelin wrote the song, guys, these guys were into the occult. If you ever watch a documentary, they sold their souls for rock and roll. These guys literally sold their souls. Not even joking. Half these guys couldn't even play in the bar room without getting kicked out. They sold their souls for fame, and all of a sudden they're selling out stadiums. Half these guys say it wasn't even replaying the music. Something took them over. This is real confessions. What are they talking about here? What? And all of a sudden, these stairways appearing out of nowhere? So, this is something going on here, because if it is real true that people are disappearing, guys, there's portals opening up. And the thing is, when Jacob had this dream, right? Let me go back to the King James Version here. Did a portal open up at the end of this ladder? Now again, right? He took the stones to make a place. Now I want to point this out, what I'm talking about here. This is a whole different topic altogether, but I'm pointing this out for a reason, right? There's a thing called the Stone of Destiny that the occult world believed that this was the stone that Jacob had to dream on. And it goes along with the Shawati, it's a different stone, I'm sorry. The Stone of Destiny and everything, right? When the Bible says it's stones, okay, he took stones, that's more than one. And put them, and it says, took stones of that place and put them, not it, right? If it was a stone, it said they took a stone and put it for his pillow, right? Or laid on that stone for a pillow. It's not saying that. It said he took stones of that place, that's more than one, it's plural, and put them for his pillows. Pillows, okay? Not singular, plural. So if it was one stone, they would say it was a stone, he took them, he used a stone for a pillow, right? The newer versions. But the older versions say he took stones and put them for his pillows. Now, we're going to do a show on that. I can't wait for that one. But I just wanted to point this out. And the people that know the stuff I'm talking about. But I don't want to leave anybody in the mystery. I'm trying to refer to basically the occult world. They take things of God, like I said, such as this, and they believe it's a stone of destiny. In the occultic world, that's a very important thing. This here, right, the ladder. How did a ladder become a stairway? There's a big difference between a ladder and a stairway. So why do they change that? Why do they make it to one stone for a pillow? Why do they make the ladder into a stairway? Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Why do they change it from more than one stone, more than one pillow to one pillow, one stone from multiple stones, right? And why do they change the ladder to a stairway? Because in the demonic world, things are backwards of what the God talks about. Like we talk about this all the time, the LGBT, they use the rainbow, right? Well, the rainbow was God's covenant that he would never flood the world again, and also to remind you why he flooded the world. The Sodom and Gomorrah ring a bell? Okay, yeah, stuff like that. All right, I'm gonna leave it there because of YouTube. Yeah, and in the cultic world, and the person, Harry Hay, the founder of the LGBT, or the father, whatever they want to call him, he was an occultist. It's not a coincidence. Like the hippie movement with the tie-dye and everything, that was a Kabbalah movement. Nothing to do with peace or anything like that. It was a hijacked movement. the occultists hijacked that too. So back to the stairway, guys, and not to sound redundant, but I'm going to do a show on this. Me and Brian tell about this is very, very peculiar. These stairways popping up in the middle of nowhere. What is going on? And if anybody here, okay, that's actually seen one of these stairways out of nowhere, or one appeared to, well, you bet I want some weird things happen, please let me know in the comment section. Because I would love to talk to you. And again, the stories that go up, now they vary. You know, people hiking in the woods or the forest, and the stairways in the middle of nowhere. And there's other people saying that, you know, they've been through the woods a million times in these certain places, and they just come out of nowhere, these stairways. Now, again, like I said, I grant that people dramatize things and whatever the case, but yeah. But there's plenty of videos on it, guys, and I've been watching some of these videos on it, but it really caught my attention. First thing that came to my mind was the Stairway of Heaven, the song, the biblical stuff, which is the ladder. And there's a big difference between the two, guys. And they strategically, they change these things purposely to fit occultic agendas. So let me know what you think in the comment section, guys. And, yeah, awesome stuff. So check out my show, TruthRadioShow.com. And, guys, if you like what you see here, you want to help support our ministry and our broadcast, we got a PayPal, Venmo, and a Cash App. And if you go to TruthRadioShow.com, we got the PayPal page there. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, in the chat room, we're going to have it's a Ko-Fi site. It's a website that you can donate money. You don't have to sign up for nothing. It helps support the operation. Or if you got a Cash App, a PayPal, or Venmo, we accept that as well. It helps support this operation. We appreciate it so much. And especially people up on if you're on Rumble watching us, please go to TruthRadioShow.com and you get the link right there and the links to all our shows. And yeah, our latest show here, the Spiritual Warfare Friday, we had the Pentagon UFO Mothership. DUMBs is deep underground military bases, information disclosed. And the links to FOJCRadio, Now You See TV, Bible series. Check that out, guys. It has all the books we're working on right now. Awesome stuff, man, we got going on. And a documentary for the Great Seal. Speaking of symbolism, and yeah, all kinds of cool stuff, guys. So, that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us on TruthRadioShow.com. And remember, you are the resistance. God bless. Declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com.